Greetings, the internet. This is the Watcher of the Universe. I am here to share some facts about the coronavirus based on what we know today about the pathogen. Definition: respiratory disease caused by the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. Occurrence started in China. Classified as a pandemic. Symptoms: frequent fever, feeling sick, coughing and possibly breathing difficulties. Muscle aches, sore throat and tingling are other symptoms. Asymptomatic cases occur. Clinical findings: wide spectrum, no findings for significant respiratory effects can be seen. Fever and cough can be seen. Diagnostics made in consultation with infectious agents. PCR can detect the virus. Treatment: there is currently no evidence of the effect of specific drug therapy, but several clinical studies are ongoing. Supportive treatment. Etiology and pathogenesis: coronavirus as a group was discovered in the mid-1960s. Coronavirus is divided into 4 subgroups: alpha, beta, delta and gamma. Virus causing human disease belongs to the alpha and beta groups. SARS-CoV-2 belongs, together with SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV, to the beta coronavirus virus characteristics group. Large RNA positive virus with envelope. There are spikes of glycoprotein on the outside of the molecule that are likely to be important for binding to the host cells. The large reservoir is probably bats infections and incubation time. Coronavirus infections are generally not very well studied, except at SARS. It has been seen that the virus can infect several different animal species, both birds and mammals. Severity: some viruses from the family are estimated to cause common colds. Each person is affected on average 3 to 4 times in life. Some virus types have the potential to become serious and deadly. Viruses appear to have a greater risk of leading to lower respiratory tract infections compared to influenza virus. SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, same group of viruses as SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV-2 virus variants. In a small study, 2 variants were identified, one L and one S type. The researchers who published the article believe that the more aggressive L type has evolved from the S type, which is the milder type. Although it was probably the S variant as first infected animals to humans, it seems that it is the L variant that triggered the outbreak in the Wuhan. S variant has now become the most common variant. Pathophysiology: limited knowledge. Some conclusions are drawn from SARS and MERS infect via the ACE2 receptor. Uses of RNA-dependent RNA polymerase to proliferate infectious pathways. SARS-CoV-2 has been detected in test material from upper and lower airways, blood and fecal samples. 9. It is still uncertain whether the virus can be found in other body fluids such as breast milk, urine, seminal fluid. A Chinese report with 96 patients showed virus excretion in feces up to 5 weeks after symptom release. At present, the main distribution is estimated to be from the respiratory tract. Aerosol generating procedures and engagement may include increased risk of infection. Following are examples of procedures that can generate aerosol: endotracheal intubation and extubation, tracheotomy, tracheostomy, non-invasive ventilation, BiPAP and CPAP treatment, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, hand venting, sampling, lower respiratory tract bronchoscopy. SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2 are similar for aerosol stability and on different surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 remained in aerosols for at least 3 hours according to an experiment lasting 3 hours, but decreased during this time. Infection occurs through indirect contact via surfaces and objects is a possible route of infection. SARS-CoV-2 remained on surfaces for at least 72 hours according to an experiment that lasted 72 hours, but the virus titer decreased significantly during this time. SARS-CoV-2 was more stable on plastic and stainless steel surfaces than on copper and cardboard. Research on other coronaviruses shows that the virus can survive several days on surfaces. For research on other coronaviruses shows that the virus can survive several days on surfaces according to an article that analyzed 22 studies on other viruses in the corona family. These viruses can survive and infect from surfaces up to 9 days. However, the temperature and humidity are most often controlled in these studies and therefore difficult to translate into conditions in normal environments. SARS-CoV-2 can survive for at least 17 days. On one of the cruise ships, viruses were detected on different surfaces up to 17 days after the ship was emptied. This was, however, before disinfection. Uncertain how infectious the quantities were. Humidity. Coronavirus as a group seems to be sensitive to dehydration. The amount of viable virus decreases on surfaces if the humidity drops room temperature. Coronavirus as a group seems to survive on surfaces longer at cooler temperatures. Disinfection. Agents with 0.1% NaClO or 62 to 71% ethanol work most effectively against coronavirus as group. Pregnant in a few cases. Amniotic fluid and breast milk tested without signs of infection. Unclear whether birth mode affects infectious risk. The Public Health Agency considers that symptom-free people are not considered to be contagious. Infection from pets is probably not happening. Some concerns have been around whether the virus can infect from pets to humans and vice versa. WHO has reported that no such transmission appears to be viral. Load, amount of virus excreted. The amount of virus seems to reach a peak in the first week of the disease, but there have been few patients in the studies showing this. Around 20 seriously ill transmits more virus. 76 patients, mixed mild and severe cases in China, showed this virus's genome. SARS-CoV-2 is a new type of coronavirus not seen in humans before. Still unclear which animal was the source or exactly how it started spread, but strengthening evidence exists that the virus comes from bats' immunity. Uncertain previous experiences mean that the Public Health Authority estimates that one is likely to be immune at least to infection during the same season. Pollen influences. A theory has been presented in the medical journal. Statistics show that in countries with more deceased, pollen levels have also been higher. The explanatory model would be that pollen, whether the recipient is allergic or not, has immunomodulatory substances that create a poorer defense of the nasal epithelium. Drug treatment against COVID-19. At present, there is no drug treatment with sufficient evidence for COVID-19 when no randomized studies have been performed. Several clinical studies are ongoing on a number of preparations, including remdesivir, chloroquine/hydrochloroquine, lepinever drug, HIV, and tocilizumab. Based on other viral diseases, it can be assumed that antiviral therapy really needs to be initiated early in the process. In severe COVID-19 with ARDS, the damage is usually due to a cytokine storm. This mechanism is body-specific and thus antiviral drugs should not be able to affect this part. Chloroquine phosphate. Both malaria and rheumatism preparations. A systematic review based on Chinese studies concludes that there is good preclinical results based on previous treatment indications of the preparation is considered the side effects/damage to be getting remdesivir. Drug Administration has granted emergency license for the drug remdesivir. Animal study ART had drug effect on SARS and MERS has not had effect on Ebola. Probably alleviate side effects. Several studies in Sweden are planned. Favipiravir. Developed as a flu drug according to Chinese media, effective against COVID-19. Reference group for antiviral therapy RAV in Sweden awaits published study results. Lepinever does not appear to have an effect beyond normal treatment in severe cases of COVID-19. IL-6 inhibitors. 8 usually rheumatic drug studies with this drug have been started. Think mechanism of action is management of the immunological response that primarily affects the lungs of COVID-19 convalescent plasma. During SARS, MERS and Ebola, this has been used as a treatment method in critically ill. Plasma donation from recovered individuals.